I'm going to introduce a topic that most of you won't want to know about. It's something that some of you may even deny it's true. Have you ever been in a situation where your life is no longer in your hands? Death would mean freedom. Death would mean freedom. I'm going to present a current world crisis and then I will give a solution. Let me introduce to you Nicole. Nicole was 18 years old when she was tricked into becoming part of the sex industry in America. She was trafficked for 7 years. Slavery in our world? Now? The only difference between modern slavery and slavery in the past is that now it is illegal and invisible. And human trafficking is a form of modern slavery. This filthy issue is constantly being swept under the carpet. Human trafficking. No one wants to see it, but those who know it's true want to keep it invisible. But today I want to open your eyes. Slavery. Chained up. Controlled. Bought. Sold. People in our past, such as William Wilberforce, worked his whole life to abolish the slave trade, and his dream was fulfilled. But I want my dream to be fulfilled, and that is to see the abolishment of modern slavery. 27 million people in bondage. 1 to 2% of victims ever rescued. The average age of a trafficked victim, you wouldn't believe it, it's 12 years old. But wait, that's only 2 years younger than me. 1 in every 100,000 traffickers ever prosecuted? Are you sure this is 2015? Let me introduce to you A21. It's an international organization that works for the abolishment of human trafficking in the 21st century. Now, before I present my solution, I'll give you 4 P's. The first P is prevention. We need to stop individuals to become future victims of trafficking. We need to interrupt the demand and raise awareness. The second P is protection. Provide a safe environment and restoration programs for those survivors. The third P is prosecution. Provide survivors with legal counsel and strengthen our legal response. Initiate the criminal proceedings needed to prosecute those traffickers. Organizations like A21 pursue changes in legislation. But I want to see changes being made to Australian laws that will actually make a difference to slaves. My solution involves our government. At this present time, we have some legislation and laws regarding the action against human trafficking. But how often do we actually hear these laws being enforced? If Parliament knows this is a global issue, why don't we see them taking active action against this and to stop it? The UN should not be shifting their focus on issues that shouldn't be debated about in the first place. Most governments just sit back and stay silent. And it is even alleged that some members of government benefit from this, as they receive income from these traffickers. We can start by encouraging our local member to investigate into these crimes and to make the government more aware of current activity. I think it's a safe bet to say most of you don't even know that Australia is a destination country for a lot of those victims of trafficking. I propose that the government not only be more aware and involved, but they need to put in actual time, effort, thought, and resources into stopping this crime. Set up a government department or a task force that specifically work with ongoing organizations to abolish human trafficking, both globally and within our borders. Across Australia, we need to establish a helpline that anyone can call for help and they can report suspicious activity. My last practical solution for our nation is to set up a National Awareness Day for human trafficking. Everyone who's old enough to understand needs to be informed about the magnitude of this crisis and not left to believe that it's no longer a world problem. And by doing all this, we should be working towards an impact in the international scene. It's time to set up an international summit to fight the war of human trafficking. Countries cooperating together to combat this injustice. Now let's go back to the 4th P, and that is partnership. We need people who will support and unite with the abolitionists who want to make a difference. This may also include financial supporters. Part of the solution could be providing funds so the government can enforce new laws and changes. A21 already works closely with local law enforcement agencies in other countries, But these organizations can only go so far. They need the government's backup to push their fight forward. We can't do everything, but we must do something. We're fighting for the freedom of victims like Nicole. Don't make death the only choice of freedom.